Morning light enters a small grocery store. Fluorescent lamps hum softly above the aisles. A refrigerator door opens, then closes. Someone pushes a cart slowly across the floor. Rubber wheels whisper against the tiles. Near the back of the store, a man stands in front of a shelf of coffee. He reads the labels carefully. Dark roast, medium roast, decaf. He takes one bag, then pauses. His fingers stay on the shelf a little longer than necessary. A cashier laughs with a customer near the front. A child drops a candy bar into a basket. Everything feels ordinary, safe, routine. The man places a coffee in his cart. He moves slowly toward the next aisle. Canned soup, rice, boxes stacked in perfect rows. Another shopper turns a corner too quickly. Their carts touch. Metal taps metal. Just a small sound. But the man freezes. His shoulders tighten. His eyes move quickly across the aisle. Left, right, behind. Then the moment passes. The other shopper smiles politely. Sorry about that. The man nods. It's all right. His voice is calm, quiet, but his hands remain on the cart handle a little tighter now. He continues walking. Milk, bread, eggs, routine things. Things people buy every day without thinking. But sometimes ordinary places carry invisible memories. Places where nothing is wrong. Yet the body still listens for something that isn't there. A loud noise. A sudden movement. A question the mind learned long ago. What just happened? Where is it coming from? What happens next? For most people, these questions never appear. For others, they arrive before thought, before logic, before the moment even finishes. The man reaches the checkout line. He places a coffee on the belt. The cashier scans it. Beep, milk. Beep, bread. Beep. The sound is harmless, mechanical, predictable. Yet each one echoes slightly in the quiet store. The cashier looks up. How's your day going? The man smiles. Pretty normal. The cashier nods. That's good. A small silence settles between them. Not awkward, just quiet, like a pause between two pages of a story. Outside, cars pass slowly along the street. Sunlight reflects off windshields. Somewhere nearby, a delivery truck closes its back door. The metal slam echoes briefly across the parking lot. Inside the store, the man lifts his head, just slightly. His eyes move toward the sound. Then they return to the counter. The cashier hands him the receipt. Have a good day. You too. He picks up the bag, walks toward the door. Nothing unusual. Just another customer leaving a store. Outside, the air is warm. Traffic hums quietly. People move between parked cars. The man stops for a moment beside the entrance. He looks across the parking lot, not searching, just observing, a habit that never fully disappears. Then he takes a slow breath and begins walking toward his car. For the people around him, this moment is simple, just a man with groceries, just another quiet afternoon. But years ago, far away from this calm street, life sounded different. The air carried helicopters, radios, explosions in the distance, and long stretches of silence between them, places where uncertainty lived in every sound, and where hesitation could cost everything. That place had a name, Vietnam. The war ended decades ago. The maps changed. The soldiers came home. The headlines faded. But some lessons don't disappear with history. They travel quietly with the people who lived through them, in grocery stores, parking lots, coffee aisles, in the simple rhythm of normal days. Not loud, not dramatic, just present, always somewhere beneath the surface. United States. The man opens his car door, places a grocery bag on the passenger seat. He sits for a moment before starting the engine. His hands rest on the steering wheel. Still, calm. Outside, the world continues exactly as it should. People shopping, cars passing, life moving forward. And he watches it all quietly. Just another afternoon. Just another ordinary moment. But for some people, ordinary moments carry echoes. Not of fear, not of anger, just memory. A reminder of places where power once seemed absolute and where, slowly, people discovered something different. that strength does not always understand the ground it stands on, that control can vanish in unfamiliar terrain, and that the deepest consequences of war often appear long after the last shot is fired. The man starts the car. The engine hums softly. He pulls out of the parking space and disappears into the slow rhythm of the street. The store door closes behind him. The fluorescent lights keep humming, and inside the quiet aisles, life continues, almost as if nothing ever happened. Evening begins to settle over the street. The light softens. Store signs glow quietly in the windows. People walk past carrying bags. Cars move slowly through the intersection. Inside one small house nearby, the same man from the grocery store places a coffee on his kitchen counter. The room is quiet. A clock ticks gently on the wall. He fills a kettle with water, sets it on the stove. The flame appears with a soft click. Blue. Steady. He leans both hands against the counter and waits. Steam begins to rise slowly from the kettle. Outside, somewhere in the neighborhood, a dog barks once. Then silence returns. He pours the water into a mug. The smell of coffee fills the room. Warm. Simple. He sits by the window, just watching the street. Most nights look exactly like this. Calm. Predictable. Normal. And yet, for an entire generation of Americans, that calm came with a question history never fully answered. What does power really mean? For decades, the United States believed power meant strength. More soldiers, more machines, more firepower. But Vietnam revealed something quieter, something harder to measure. A nation can possess enormous power and still misunderstand the war it enters. It can control the sky, control the sea, control the battlefield, and still lose the story, still lose the people, still lose the purpose. Vietnam didn't simply challenge military strategy. It challenged the idea that power alone could shape the world. The war ended in 1975, but the questions it raised never truly ended. They followed presidents, generals, Congress, and every new conflict that came afterward. Iraq, Afghanistan, decisions made decades later still carried shadows in the jungles of Southeast Asia, not because the wars were the same, but because the lesson was unfinished. Power can start a war, but understanding decides how it ends. The man lifts the mug slowly, takes a quiet sip. Outside, the streetlights flicker on. Another normal night begins. History rarely announces its lessons loudly. Sometimes they appear in books, sometimes in speeches, and sometimes they live quietly inside the people who were there, waiting, watching, remembering. Because Vietnam did not only change a battlefield, it changed how America sees power itself. And the next time the country faces war, that quiet lesson will still be there, unspoken, but impossible to ignore. Soft pause. And this is only the beginning of the story. In the next episode, we look at a darker question, a question historians still debate today. What if the Vietnam War was never meant to be won? Subscribe and join me for the next chapter. Until then, the echoes of that war remain, quiet, patient, still shaping the world we live in.